Alright, everybody, welcome to another episode of TEW Local to Global 1987. We're here booking some GCW. Fuel number 138. We've got Ignition also, and we've got a good episode today, so let's get straight into it. We're opening with Bartholomew Bucklestone getting a win over Ace Darling on the pre-show. And I have to say that I have completed the booking until Revolution. Every show is booked. Everything is done. Now we just need to run the shows, and then do the draft. I think it's 2 weeks after Revolution. That's the draft is supposed to happen, but it's in '98, early '98. So anyway, we're opening with this match. Pretty garbage, but you know what? Bucklestone gets a win, gets a 38. Good job. So 20. More pre-show jobber matches. Adrian Adonis beats Wolfie D. Bobby Duncombe beats Glenn Osborne. Gets a 57. Good job, Duncombe. 35 right there. China gets a match over Curtis Thompson. We've got China getting stale, so let's mark that down. Alright, China gimmick. And China's actually decently over. She's in mid-40s, I think, which is good for the brand split. She's still garbage in the ring, though, because I haven't used her in the ring for the entirety of the series so far. And then we got Owen Hart beating King Kong Bundy on the pre-show as well. Still on the pre-show. He hasn't made his official return yet. He's just moping around on the pre-show, getting him some return matches, trying to put him over, trying to make him recognizable and not unimportant or whatever. 55. And then your pre-show main event, we've got a 5-on-5 tag team match. It's The Godfather, Grandmaster Sexay, Rikishi, Steve Blackman, Ahmed Johnson versus Fit Finlay, Van Hammer, The Real Luchador, Reginald Scott Riggs, and Cronus. And Rikishi pins The Real Luchador with the Rikishi driver. So not bad. Real Luchador is the only one here not pulling his weight. The rest are getting 50s and 60s, which I'm alright with for lower card acts. So 61. And we're opening the show. We got the Syndicate cutting a promo, and out comes J.J. Dillon. And this is what's going to happen on Ignition. We announced it last episode as well with Steve Austin. But just a reminder, on Ignition we're going to have 5 singles matches, and the team with the most singles wins will get the advantage at War Games. So every member of Team Syndicate, Ken Shamrock, Taz, Big Show, The Rock, and I think I'm missing one. Who am I missing? Oh, Kane. Kane's not here. And this gets an 85. They're all facing a member of Team Dillon. But Team Dillon only has 4 members right now, so we're going to have to wait and see who the 5th man is. Bradshaw takes on Al Snow. This is because Bradshaw attacked Al Snow and D'Lo last week, if I remember correctly. Bradshaw gets the win with the Lariat. Car crash match. Gets a 79. We're happy with that. Afterwards, Bradshaw beats down Al Snow and D'Lo Brown, and out comes Farouk. We think he's going to make the save, but then he starts beating down D'Lo and Al Snow and helps Bradshaw. So maybe we're seeing a new team in GCW, Bradshaw and Farouk. Probably a nothing team, not important. 65. The LWO cut a promo. This didn't do too hot, but you know what? That's fine. Chavo cuts a promo. He's facing off against Billy Kidman for the Cruiserweight Championship at Halloween Hell. That is next episode, if I remember correctly. Yep, it's on next episode. It's a 42. Not too great, but you know what? We'll take it. Eddie Guerrero gets a win over Scotty 2 Hottie. This is our high spots match. In 6'11", Eddie wins with the frog splash. It's a 70. We'll take it. Afterwards, Too Cool. They dance a little bit, as they usually do. We got Booker T cutting a promo, and Chris Candido and Chris Jericho come out. And Jericho versus Booker will be official for next week on Fuel. And the winner of that match will get to face Brian Pillman for the Intercontinental Championship at Halloween Hell. So this gets a 68. Perry Saturn and Shane Douglas finally put their mini feud to rest. Perry Saturn gets the win over Shane Douglas in 13-12 with the Death Valley driver. So this gets an 88. Good match for these two underrated acts in GCW who are most certainly going to get a push after the brand split, Shane Douglas especially. So this gets an 88. J.J. Dillon is talking to the United States champion Chris Benoit backstage. And he tells him that, unfortunately, due to the pile driver on the chair, Dustin Rhodes is going to be out of action for a little bit. So Benoit is on his own to face against the Texas Whippers, it looks like. So this gets a 78. Shawn Michaels and Triple H cut a promo, and out comes D-Generation X, Billy Gunn, Road Dogg, Chyna, and X-Pac. And on pay-per-view, we're going to see the New Age Outlaws, Billy Gunn, and Road Dogg versus Shawn Michaels and Triple H for the GCW World Tag Team Championship. So this gets a 72. We're backstage. Booker T and Brian Pillman are there, and Brian Pillman, he tells Booker, you know what, I hope I face you on pay-per-view. It's just because I respect you a lot more than I respect Chris Jericho. And Booker T says, thanks, man, I appreciate it. So this gets an 82. And then we've got our main event. It is Steve Austin teaming with Sting. These two haven't met in a while. Last time they met, I think they were facing off against one another. But Austin gets the win, pins Taz with the stunner. And Kane and Taz don't get the job done tonight against Steve Austin and Sting. And afterwards, we got a big brawl with every member of the 5-on-5 War Games match. DDP, Dude Love, Kane, Ken Shamrock, Steve Austin, Sting, Taz, The Big Show, The Rock. And finally, The Undertaker makes his way down. He joins Team Dylan. And we've got our fifth member. So this gets a 91. An 88. We'll definitely take that. That's a great show. Popularity goes up in Mexico, in Europe, and in Japan, which is great. But we're not done yet. We've still got Ignition to book. And this is going to be a pretty quick episode of Ignition because we've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 segments. And 5 of which are matches because they're the War Games singles matches to determine who gets the advantage. So, I'll be right back with that in just one moment, and we'll get to Ignition. Alright, Ignition number 6. It's a very quick card that we're taking care of here. It's not going to take too long, so let's get straight into it. We've got DX cutting a promo, and Shawn Michaels and Triple H come out. We're going to see Triple H versus X-Pac on Fuel next week ahead of their pay-per-view encounter between Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and Road Dogg and Billy Gunn. 78, and we're starting the 5 singles matches. So we've got Steve Austin versus Taz, and Austin gets the win with a stunner. So right off the bat, Team Dylan 1-0. Next up, DDP and Ken Shamrock. Shamrock gets the win. Okay, that's fine, whatever. And Shamrock wins by countout after help from Paul Bearer. So now it's 1-1. Then I believe we have an interview. Yep, Gene Okerlund interviews Chris Jericho and Chris Candido on Booker T. Jericho versus Booker happens on Fuel. Gets a 70. We'll take that. Next up, it's Dude Love versus The Rock. GCW Championship is not on the line. But regardless, even if it was, it wouldn't have mattered because The Rock gets the win using underhanded tactics. So, Rock gets the win, an 88. We're happy with that. We've got 2 more matches. Right now it's 2-1 for the Syndicate. It's The Undertaker versus The Big Show next. And Undertaker gets the win with a Tombstone Piledriver, gets the big man up. And in 14 minutes, Undertaker gets the win. So it all comes down to the main event. Kane versus Sting. Sting for Team Dylan, Kane for Team Syndicate. And Kane gets the win with a Tombstone Piledriver, just like his brother, and gets an 87. So it looks like Team Syndicate will be getting the advantage at War Games. They get the first entry. So this gets an 87. And we end the show with an 85, so we'll take that. Yeah, popularity goes up. We're happy with that. And WWF, between outtakes, WWF has fallen to medium size, which means we're technically bigger than the World Wrestling Federation right now, which makes us the biggest company in the world for the time being. WWF is probably going to climb back up in due time. So I was looking at WWF and I was looking at WCW. If you look at WWF, their popularity has been bottoming out, and the reason why is because look at the shows they're putting on. Like 70 overall for Raw. Wrestling Challenge doesn't matter to B show. 73, 76, 71 on pay-per-view. 76. You know, they're just middle of the road. You know what I mean? They're not putting on great shows. And they've got Kerry Von Erich as their figurehead. And WCW is the same situation. They're just not putting on good shows, and that's hurting their popularity. And Joint Promotion is going to go out of business. But the problem with that is that now it costs us. We have to rival WWF on live events, and that costs us $100,000 a month and $25,000 per show instead of $5,000 per show and no cost per month. So it's gonna be very expensive. But I think we can handle it. I think we can manage, and if we can't, then cry me a river. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Regardless, we're done with this episode. We've got October 13th for Fuel. Next episode we got October 14th Ignition, and then we have the October 19th Halloween Hell. So make sure to stay tuned for that. We'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good one, and goodbye.